So if you think about Belichick, Harbaugh, and Vrabel, it's like Arthur Blank is seemingly trying to bestow,
for sure,
a little bit of a hard-nosed type culture in there at the head coaching position. What do you think? And what's Fugaze and what's not Fugaze?
It's an appealing job too. We talked about the talent on that Atlanta team. Got a good. You need a quarterback, probably.
Eighth pick in the draft.
Yeah, good pick.
Yeah, but I don't know what their cap deal is. I don't know if they have capital to move up, with that 8th pick to try to get something higher to get into money for trying to get up Drake May or Caleb. I don't think they can go that far. But
Jaden Daniels
but they've got players.
Passed Drake May on the most recent Mel Kiper mock draft.
That's right.
He's 2 now, huh?
Yeah, well, Herb Street said that at the Army-Navy game whenever we were up there doing the show. He said Jaden Daniels, I think Jaden Daniels, the Patriots thought there was a chance.
I was praying
that you'd be able to get him maybe with the second pick you have in the first draft in the teens or whatever, because nobody's really talking about him as an NFL prospect. He would obviously go on to win the Heisman, and then people like Kirk Herbstreit would come out and say, once they talk to this guy and once they get to know him and learn his story and watch his film, Jaden Daniels is going to skyrocket in the NFL conversation. That's happened before the even interview process started with Jaden Daniels. Good for him. Drake May, obviously still up in a conversation. He didn't win a lot of games.
That's all right. What do you mean? I mean, how many games did he start, though? I think that's a huge deal. How many games he actually played?
Played a lot of football. A lot of football.
Which I think we're finding out, nothing is 100%, nothing's concrete, but that does help you, I think, when you have a bunch of reps already under your belt by the time you get to the league, at the quarterback position especially.
Another thing that NFL people will like, or certain NFL people will like, he was offered like $5 million or something to go play somewhere else. And he said, nah, I'm staying in North Carolina.
Yeah.
I love staying here. That says a lot about him. Older brother's very competitive, loves ball, loves competing. He's huge.
Huge.
He is huge. I got a chance to see him. That's like Aiden Hutchinson. When I saw Aiden Hutchinson, you forget. What a specimen this thing is.
Monster.
Holy shit. When I met Drake May, it was the same thing. I'm like, why am I looking up at this? I didn't think I was going to be.
He's like
How tall is he?
Like 6'6",
He's
right?
6'4", 230.
He's like he's like the Mannings. I remember we played the Colts. I saw Peyton.
Yes, and he's big. His presence is big. Good basketball player, obviously. His older brother's good. Good golfer. Good football player, obviously. They say his football IQ.
Yeah, quarterback coach.
So, if he goes to Bama or if he goes to some other school that was thinking Ohio State, if Drake May was the quarterback, good call, Connor. If Drake May was the quarterback of Ohio State this past year,
first overall.
Yeah. I think so. They're probably winning the entire thing.
Yeah.
But Caleb Williams, obviously, people are saying once in a generation, and when you watch him play college ball, he's electrifying. Will he be able to play that same style in the NFL? That's the only question.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see. If he can, he's going to be phenomenal. If he can't, it's like, all right, it was awesome in college. I think he will be able. I would like you on the record to say, I think he will be able to. But whenever you're watching these D-lines on Sunday and these outside linebackers, and then you watch the college ones, granted, they'll play against 2 to 3 guys a year that are going to end up in the NFL that are outside linebackers and D-linemen and everything like that. The NFL is the all-star game of every generation before you. And the slow, try hard, good sound, they fade out.
Not around.
And you know who's still in there? 4-2, 4-3, 4-4.
Yep.
A lot of his game is extending and shaking, and I think he will be. This is me saying I think he will be able to do this in the NFL. But if he can't, we're going to have to learn a lot about deciphering a defense and can he make every throw inside the pocket? That's the whole question. So I love Caleb, and I'm excited to see if he can work in the NFL. But that whole thing, can he be the same guy in the NFL, is certainly a worthy question to be asked, especially with how athletic the NFL is now.
Well, and it's not necessarily fair, but when they talk about his athleticism and his speed and his elusiveness, a lot of that probably comes down to what he runs at the combine. If he runs, a high 4.5 or a 4.6 40, and Drake May is kind of within that same ballpark, and then Jaden Daniels goes out and runs a low 4.3 or something like that, then are a lot of people going to be okay, well, Jaden Daniels is clearly the superior athlete. He won a Heisman. We've seen what he can do, and do we see him potentially start to slide down a little bit if it's not oh, okay, well, he's an unbelievable athlete on tape, but then when we're watching him at the combine and his...
You know all you need? You just need one billionaire.
True. Yeah.
Bingo.
That's all you need. You need one billionaire to be yep, that's the face of my program.
To me, it's pairing him with the head coach all right, and then the OC. And are they going to do and run a system that is, conducive to this guy's skill set? Shane Steichen, they went and got Anthony Richardson because of that offense and what he did with Hurts. And here's how we're going to use the guy. And we're going to accentuate his strengths, and we're going to hide any weakness that he has. So to me, it's like where they end up. And if you get some guys that don't know how to develop a guy, that's the lure of Harbaugh. He's won everywhere he's been, right? But look at the quarterbacks that he's had and that he's developed and had flourished in his program.
Yeah, he can coach. The guy can coach.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, we are just without a doubt, Justin Fields is not playing quarterback in Chicago. Like, are we all on that same page? Because I don't think I'm there yet. Where it's, hey, for sure Fields is gone and they're going to draft Caleb. But I mean, it's probably the most likely situation. It just feels like that process hasn't even really started yet.
Yeah, I'm pumped for draft season.
So pumped
because it's such a joke.
Yeah,
it is such a joke.
It's going to change. It's going to change 1,000 times from now until then as well.
And for people that don't know our show or pretty new to our show, draft night is one of our biggest nights every single year.
Love it.
And the reason why is because leading up to the draft, obviously we cover it all. The Combine's here in our backyard. It's been extended another year here in Indianapolis. It's a perfect city for it. I'm happy it's sticking around. But none of it means shit.
Nope.
Literally none of it means shit. We have no idea. Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be a great NFL wide receiver, right? Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe. What if he ends up in a place where a guy can't throw the damn ball?
Exactly.
Exactly. There's so many different factors that go into it all. How does this person handle having money now and free time and not just having his entire life scheduled like it is in college? There's so many factors in having success. And I think the reason why we cover it that way is because we've both been in the locker room, and obviously Chuck has coached locker rooms where, boy, this draft pick took my friend's job on draft night, so my friend gets fired for this person to come in because they're younger and better and everything. And then for one reason or another, just can't do right. Just can't adjust to the game, can't adjust to the lifestyle, can't handle it, has off-the-field stuff potentially happening. Maybe in practice, their work ethic isn't the same as what every other NFL guy is. You just have no idea, and it's impossible to project what the cut of somebody's jib is in some of these interviews, which is why the draft is so awesome, because everybody's so matter-of-fact about something being great or being terrible, when really it's a craps game, AJ. It's literally a craps game.
Yeah, and I know Lombo loves talking about when they grade the draft, like the day after. Oh, who won the draft? That's almost the same thing, though, we do with head coaches. If you won the press release and you hired a great coach, that none of that really matters. Who cares? Great if your fan base is excited for a couple months. If you don't win games, it doesn't mean anything if you won the fans back in February when you hired a coach.
I appreciate people being excited. It's when they go the other way. This guy's terrible. It's like, you have no idea.
We don't know. Yeah. We don't know either way, guys. We don't know either way yet.
J.J. Watt got booed out of Houston. He's not the only one. The Detroit Lions had the worst draft in the history. They got 4 starters out of that that are currently in the NFC Championship. And then you heard Chuck there. He said, like, quietly as a college coach, recruiting? I mean, we can kill it. You have no idea for recruiting class.
I'm sorry for Chuck.
No, that's a good thing.
I mean, look at the Packers, like the Jordan Love draft. Like, I wanted to drive off a bridge going home, and then now 4 years later, like, I'm going to the moon because like they got the right guy. But it took 4 years for him to actually get an opportunity.